I promise I am going to let Sarah give her message. But whenever we read that word about you brood of vipers and that he will clean up the threshing area, gathering the wheat and throwing the chaff into unquenchable fire, I feel like it's necessary to point out that every kernel of wheat has chaff. That is the outer husk of it, the part that is not the worthy seed. And so this is not about some people going to unquenchable fire and some people going into the granary. This is about God purifying what is going into the granary, burning off or taking care of that part which is useless and keeping that part which is worthy. As Sarah shares with us this morning, her different spin on Matthew 7:12, I think it is a story of how we who are already good, recognizing that we are children of God, doing many good things. It's also a story of how we can recognize if there is chaff that needs to be taken care of, blown away, separated from that which is the best, and be even better. I want to introduce to you Sarah Sandsted, who grew up in this congregation and who has a message for us based on some things that she has learned and experienced in her few years away from this congregation. Sarah?
Good morning, LUMC. It is my sincerest pleasure to stand in front of you today and to be given this opportunity to speak to this incredible congregation. Thank you to Pastor Alison for inviting me and trusting me and to being open to my testimony. This invitation is part of why I think LUMC is so special. There's an openness and humility in this church. The general vibe here is one of an eagerness for understanding. And because I was influenced by this tone at such an early age, it's really informed my evolution as a human being tremendously. For those of you who don't know me, I was born and raised in Lansing, and from infancy, I was a regular attending member of this church. I was baptized down at Myers at Sundays in the Park. I went through my confirmation here. Thank you, Sandy Dimitri, for being my mentor during that process. I was a part of the youth group. Youth group was a major turning point in my life because it taught me about service. I'll never forget those trips to Johns Island, South Carolina, with my peers and some incredible adult mentors, including Ed Levine, Bill Dimitri, and most importantly, my dad, Jeff Sandsted. Perhaps the greatest timeline shift in my life, however, was traveling with my mom, Debbie Levine, and Diane Walter to Haiti in January of 2006 as a part of a missions team with LUMC. More on that later, but it's needless to say that service was instilled in me at a young age, and it was thanks to this church. Since I left Lansing in 2004, I have not been back to live here full-time, but when I visit, I always feel at home in these four walls. I've done quite a bit of moving around over the last 20 years, but somehow all roads led me back to Haiti. I built my life around philanthropic work, but that was an interest that peaked in this very sanctuary. Don't worry, I'm not here to give you a predictable message about the importance of helping others. Instead, I want to talk more about that openness of this church that I referred to earlier, because without that influence in my life, I don't think I would have ended up where I am today. I've decided to title this message A Different Spin on Matthew 7:12. We all know the infamous verse. In everything then, do to others as you would have them do to you, for this is the essence of the law and the prophets. It seems straightforward enough. We need to be kind to others because we want others to be kind to us. We need to be generous to others because we would hope that they would be generous to us, and so on. After many years of working in Haiti, however, I watched how well-meaning missionaries and foreigners interfaced with Haitian people, and I came to a belief that a second version of this verse should also be considered. Do not do to others as you would not have them do to you. That probably seems a little too obvious and redundant, but let me explain. Let's go back to 2006 on that life-changing mission trip. I was 19 years old and went into the experience hoping to emulate Matthew 7:12's message. I was as kind as I knew how to be to everyone I met. One evening, a group of young men came to the home where we were staying and sat on a concrete slab outside in the moonlight as we played cards and laughed and shared our second language of French. They expressed how nice it was to be able to speak to someone from America directly and not through a translator, and they started sharing some of their dreams, hopes, and perspective. It was really special. They then started talking to me about their experience in high school and how lunch was not a part of the program like it was at the elementary school. We get pretty hungry during the day, they said. It's kind of hard to concentrate. Do you think you could talk to the leadership and ask them about bringing lunch to this program? I instantly began to weep. My sentiment was authentic. I did feel deeply sorry and empathetic to their situation. I couldn't imagine being hungry at school, and the thought of it made me cry. They looked at me confused, though, and the dynamic shifted instantly. Well, let us know what the leadership says, they said. We better get heading home. The shift was subtle at the time, and I didn't know how to name it. What I didn't know then, though, that took me years of working in Haiti to come to terms with is I don't want to be pitied or treated like a child, and neither does any adult, Haitian or otherwise. Do not do to others as you would not have them do to you. In 2010, an earthquake hit in Haiti. I was working in Washington at the time, but soon found myself on the ground full-time in Port-au-Prince, working for the United Methodist Volunteers and Mission. In that role, I coordinated the mission's experience for many teams coming to Haiti to help rebuild. In the busy season, we would host as many as 20 to 30 mission teams per month. Our office was at the Methodist Guest House, perched high on a hill in a quaint suburb of the capital. On a particularly balmy afternoon, I remember one of my Haitian colleagues turning to me after some visiting missionaries were interacting with the kitchen staff in an overly sugary, sweet sort of way. And he said to me, "You know, Sarah," he said this in Creole so that he wouldn't be understood by all the blancs or foreigners that were around us, "I feel like I can say this to you, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but treating people equally does not mean treating them better. It means treating them the same." His words hit me so hard they left me short of breath. Suddenly, I had a flashback to that concrete slab on my first trip to Haiti. Those guys came to ask me for translation help, and they didn't want my pity. My tears probably shocked them and made them feel worse. I mean, they came seeking help, and instead of thinking of a solution, I wept. Another timeline shift. I started noticing things I hadn't paid attention to before. There's a fascinating phenomenon that occurs when missionaries travel to Haiti and engage with local people. Maybe it's the language barrier, the foreignness of the landscape, the cultural gap, the inevitable power dynamics. Whatever the reason, I noticed how often good-hearted people infantilized Haitian people. Quick definition: infantilize means to treat someone as if that person were a child. I hope by providing that definition, by the way, I haven't just ironically infantilized the whole congregation. In any case, sometimes it was subtle, even just a shift in the tone of voice. "I'm so happy to see you today. How are your children doing?" Instead of, "I'm happy to see you. How are your kids?" Admittedly, I know that I have the unique advantage of being fluent in both Creole and English, and many of these conversations happen through translators, but sometimes it was more than a tone. Sometimes it was the type of questions being asked or the way that they would react to things. Wow, you got a job! I remember one woman from Ohio professing as she clapped her hands vigorously. She had just met the newest member of our team in Haiti. This Haitian guy had a PhD. He turned to the American woman puzzled and said, "Thank you?" I mean, can you imagine if somebody said that to you in that tone? Sure, she meant well, but I was beginning to see that there is often an undertone of superiority when U.S. Americans go on international mission trips, and it only deepens the divide between the proverbial us and them. I've obviously given this a lot of thought. I think it really boils down to that power dynamic I referred to earlier. When we are fortunate enough to be able to help someone, financially or otherwise, we have the power in that exchange. We just heard in the scripture that John the Baptist said, if you have 2 shirts, give one to the poor. If you have food, share it with those who are hungry. I learned that here in this church. God calls us to be generous when we have the capacity, but it's how we manage having that power, to me, that's equally important in that exchange. After more than 10 years in Haiti, my experience has been, more often than not, that people who come to Haiti from the U.S. unknowingly interact with Haitians as if they were children, rather than recognizing them as fully developed adults with their own agency, wisdom, and cultural knowledge. When we infantilize the people we are meant to help, we deny them the respect and autonomy they deserve as adults, and we keep them in a position of dependence. This mindset creates an imbalance and reinforces the notion that they are inherently less capable. This, according to what I learned here, does not align with how God calls us to treat others. Well, as this is Advent, the Advent Sunday of joy, it's time for me to tell you where all these rantings have left me today. They leave me, believe it or not, in a place of great joy. I left Haiti in 2012 to go to grad school. I didn't think that I would go back in a professional capacity. I was totally disillusioned by the things I just told you. But God had other plans and took me right back to the island in 2013. For 11 years now, I have been working for a business in Haiti called deux. At deux, it is our core belief that Haiti is a beautifully complicated country filled with people who have limitless talent, but who lack access. You know the old proverb, give a man a fish, he eats for a day, teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. In the case of Haiti, this proverb should probably read, Haitians know how to fish. They just don't have a pond to fish in. So at deux, we have done our best to create a pond. Our founder, Julie, and I, alongside our colleagues in Haiti, created a women-owned, solar-powered manufacturing center in the heart of Port-au-Prince. Together with our 40 Haitian colleagues, we create handbags and leather accessories for export and leather school shoes for the local market. This business may not appear as a service organization, but it has the effect that many charities do not. It allows 40 people in Haiti to put food on their own tables, send their own children to school, and it fosters a dignity that we can all be proud of. There is no us and them at deux. It's just us, colleagues and friends fighting for justice for the people of Haiti. Treating each other as equals for better or worse. Our interactions are the same as they would be if I were working with Americans. We hold each other accountable, we don't patronize each other, and we don't change our tone of voice. Lately, you may have seen the mini shoe ornaments. I think I left it right there. The mini shoe ornaments hanging on the palm tree in the fellowship hall. These ornaments are made at our manufacturing center at deux, and they're from the same leather that we use to make the school shoes with. The Haiti committee here at LUMC is responsible for this incredible idea. If you purchase a pair of shoes from Demain, a student at a longtime LUMC partner school, École La Providence, will get a pair of shoes, and you get to keep the ornament as a keepsake to remember the impact you made for shoemakers and children in Haiti. What a full circle moment this is. The Haiti Committee exemplified LUMC's openness by spearheading a paradigm shift in how we can help people in Haiti. This is perhaps my greatest joy of the season. Lansing United Methodist Church, thank you. Thank you for instilling service in me at a young age, and thank you for cultivating an openness in me to question how things have always been done. Without this perspective, I'm not sure I would have ever noticed how well-meaning charity so often strips the recipients of their dignity. Thank you for fostering a point of view in me that eventually gave me the wisdom to not do unto others as I would not have them do unto me. Thank you, and may God bless you as you continue to bring God's joy to your neighbors here in Lansing and in Haiti and around the world, by doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, and by not doing unto others as you would not have them do unto you. Amen.